Are you a breeder looking to showcase your show pigs? With a Walton Webcasting Show Pig Shoot, we are your go-to video service for capturing the full picture of your show pigs. We specialize in providing top-quality video services for breeders like you. Our skilled video team comes directly to your operation. You talk to pigs, we capture the video. Whether it's baby pigs, boars, gilts, or sows, we ensure that their unique features will shine through. With the power of our website and social media, your professionally recorded videos are streamed live, allowing potential customers from all over the country to view and appreciate the quality of your show pigs. We handle the technicalities so you can focus on what you do best, raising exceptional livestock. To schedule your next show pig shoot, call Rhonda at 765-431-7367. Welcome to the ultimate show on the track. Today we celebrate our premier partners, the driving force behind the livestock industry across the nation. Get ready to witness the power of partnership as our premier partners take to the asphalt. Green light and they're off. On the track we have our first partner, Layered Premium Blend Genetics from premiumblendgenetics.com. Next up, it's Beck's Hybrids from Beck's
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to the Cattleman's
And
Congress.
here comes Showright.
We're excited to get started with another
From
day here at your 5th annual
Showright.com.
event. The show is created
Coming around,
by
we have
Cattleman
Brad
for
Howell
Cattleman.
Ford.
And together we've
From
created a lasting legacy
BHIFord.com.
here in Oklahoma City. We are so proud
Right behind
to have
them,
each and
it's
every one of you here with
Biozyme.
us. Before we get started
From
here in the Jim North Arena, if we could please have you
BiozymeInc.com.
all rise for our national anthem.
And here comes First Farmers Bank and Trust from FFBT.com. And rounding out the racers, it's Kennedy Ventures from KennedyVenturesOK.com. On the track and in the ring, it's all about collaboration and teamwork. Join us in honoring our premier partners because together they're the driving force of the livestock industry.
Well, we're getting it started over here in Ring 2 with your Junior Shorthorn Plus show. We're excited to welcome our judge today, Mr. Chris Cassidy. First class in the ring will be Class 1. These are late spring heifer calves. And over in the Hereford Bull Ring, we're excited to get started with your polled spring bull calves. Class 1 will be the first in the ring. Your judges today, Mr. Brett Barber and Bryden Barber.
Well, nothing like getting into this first class of May Junes on the Shorthorn Plus side and really having to kind of think. I think there's 6 good heifers in here, and they're all a little different, and they're obviously young and at different stages of maturity. But to me, there was 2 heifers that sorted up that have the kind of the maternal qualities that I like, and the heifer that wins, just in terms of her softness, I think excels this class. But I think in particular, when you compare her to this heifer in second, she's a little more agile in the way she goes. I asked them to take that second lap. I see just a little more comfort, a little more angle, a little more slope to this one's shoulder, and just the way she holds herself together when she's out in motion. Big-bodied, cowy, very maternal in her look. Just a nice place to start in this particular class. You know, when they're standing still and you got the Cattleman park, this heifer in second's probably one I like as good as any of them. I love her youthfulness. I love her freshness. Get her in motion. She's a heifer that's just a little tentative, and I wish she'd just find a different gear. I know the surface probably doesn't help early in the morning, but I still think this heifer needs to be set back in her shoulder ever so slightly, set down just a little more softly there behind. Big, powerful one coming in third. She's got as much real substance and dimension and volume as anything out here. Comes across to me a little coarser just in the way she's put together, a little bigger in her hock joint, a little rounder at the edge of her shoulder, just rounder built in general. But, you know, a heifer that has all kinds of dimension and power. There's certainly things to like about her. Opposite end of the spectrum, blue roan heifer, super soft, really refined in the way she looks. I just blow her apart. She's a little too flat there in her forerib. Step right in behind him too, and I need to see this heifer a little squarer there at her hock and just give her a little more natural dimension all the way through. Like the look of this roan heifer. Young lady's doing a great job with her. She's fresh. She's really got a nice presence about her. She gets overwhelmed in this class for sure. I'd like to just change her structurally too. Gets just a little upright off both ends, but a really, really high quality heifer. Then we round our class out with one that I think you could switch if you wanted to. Here's a heifer that you like in terms of dimension. Again, a little rounder built, a little wide up front in terms of the way her shoulder's constructed. Young lady's doing a great job of getting her shown. Really good class, but lots of differences. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations in the Hereford ring. Results out of Shorthorn ring. Results out of Class 1 late spring heifer calves. This was also your late spring heifer calf division. Champion was exhibited by Braley Krasinger of Hoboken, Kansas, with SN Dream Lady Mia, 4145 ET. Reserve in that division will go to Morgan Brooks of Venus, Texas, with SFF Mona Lisa, 461. Now in the ring is Class 4. These are early spring heifer calves.
Well, we get into a little bit of a smaller, more manageable class, if you will, in this set of April heifers in the Shorthorn Plus show. I think 3 good heifers. I'd still think that it was, excuse me, a little closer here on top between a pair of heifers that I think bring forth a tremendous amount of quality to the table. And, I'm going to just go back to the basics, and I think that's why this heifer wins. She's a little more moderate, a little more sensibly sized, and that doesn't bother me, but I think you start at the ground and you read them up front and just read the way this heifer is assembled from her front end structure. I think she has the advantage over the heifer in second. A little more right in terms of her top line, especially her tail head when she's set in motion. Drops a really nice, kind of a neat looking hind leg that flexes plenty good. Still a good bodied heifer that balances nicely. Maybe not a freak in any one way. You a little more extension, a little more neatness in this heifer in second, but I like this one's structure. I like her fundamentals to win this class. This heifer that ends up in second, for standing still, there's no doubt here's the one you want to tie to because she's so fresh up front, blends just seamlessly. I like her extension. I like her growth. I like her ability to combine that with tremendous power and tremendous dimension all the way through. It's hard to do that. I just got to change this heifer structurally. Up front, she's a little rocked up there in her shoulders. She'll get a little east and west on those front feet, knock her tail head down and set her rear pastern down a little differently. And I'm getting critical. I hate to be that way, but in a close pair of high-quality heifers, I thought there were some structural differences that really sorted those two. You get into this third place heifer, and here's one that you really like in terms of just performance. Love her stretch. She's got a nice build and a nice pattern to her as well. Just doesn't balance as good as the other two. And on top of it, she gets a little overwhelmed in terms of body mass, but that's a darn good heifer. You're doing a great job of getting her shown too. So that's 3 excellent April heifers in this class.
Well, congratulations over here in the Shorthorn ring. Results out of Class 4. First place exhibited by back number 60016. That's CF Mona Lisa 484 24K XET, exhibited by Grady McGrew of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Second place in that class go to Carter Cornegie of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and third to Cooper Hetrick of Fremont, Ohio. Now in the ring, we'll welcome in Class 5 early spring heifer calves. Well, congratulations over in the Hereford ring. Results out of Class 3 pulled spring bull calves. First place.
Well, we get into another really tricky class here in this group of spring coming yearling heifers in the Shorthorn Plus show. And I'll be honest, I like both of these heifers, and I like that third, fourth, and fifth place heifer on the other side just as well. And these first two are very tricky for me. And to be honest with you, I'd like to kind of be right down the middle of these two. I'd like to take them and just kind of put them together, but that's not the hand I'm dealt. And so I got to make a decision between these two. The heifer that wins, I got a great showman. You got the most out of that heifer. And I wanted to commend you on that. And it's easy to show a heifer like that because she's so right in terms of her structure. To me, she's as good as anything in here from just the way she's built. And you look at her feet and you look at the way they set to the ground, the way she moves and still holds herself together in her top and bottom line, I think is the best in this class. The biggest question is just, this heifer enough? I wish this heifer had a little more just substance and feature to her. She's not as bold and cowy as maybe the ones in second, third, and fourth, but I just keep coming back to her because of that structural makeup. I think in time, when you get a calf in her and you kind of get to feeding on her a little bit, her better days are maybe even ahead of her too. So I like that, but love this heifer's extension, love her framework, love the way she's built. I can't coming back to that in terms of the way she's made. And I really thought about starting with this heifer for a long time. I think in terms of the ability to have a sensible size, an easy feeding or an easy doing kind of look is very warranted with her. She's a heifer that's got a little more growth on paper too. So there's some versatility in this black heifer in second. She's just a little shorter made, a little plainer featured. I don't see her being quite as elite in the way she flexes her hind leg as that heifer that's right in front of her. But I like both of those heifers quite a bit. They're just different in the way they present themselves and what they bring to the table. This heifer in third's interesting, and she's kind of the trouble heifer for me and trying to figure out what the heck to do with her. moderate, bold-bodied, got a really sweet look up front, and I appreciate all those things about her. She hits me a little quicker when you compare her to the ones in first and second. I don't see her having the same size, kind of foot size underneath of her. She'll knuckle up on those pasterns ever so slightly. So it's not a lot of big things here. It just became a little list of things I'd like to tweak on that heifer. That ends up getting her in third. Big stout one in fourth, and really awesome brood cow. To me, she's got probably a little too much condition on her at this stage of her development. Little coarser built. We need to change this heifer structurally. And you could say the same about this red heifer. I'd like to loosen her off both ends. I think she gets out horsed in this class as well, but she's got a fresh hair coat. She's fresh in terms of her composition. I think the young man's done a great job with her as well. I sincerely mean that's a good class. Very different. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets moved around a little bit in another show, but altogether, congratulations.
Well, congratulations over in the Hereford ring. Results out of Class 4 before the division. First place exhibited by Running P Cattle Company of Canyon, Texas with RPC 143J 210 Fireball 410. Second place in that class will go to TR Cattle Company of Glencoe, Oklahoma with TRAC Van Gogh 42 MET. Third place in that class exhibited by Timber Hula of Creston, Nebraska. Now in ring 1, we'll bring in those first and seconds. Select a champion reserve, polled spring bull calf.
Well, we get into another really competitive class here in the Shorthorn Plus side, and I took an extra lap there in these top three, but to me, it really wasn't about the one that wins. I think we got a pretty commanding winner on this side, and this effort just ties it all together for me in terms of not just setting the standard in this group in terms of her structural correctness and her comfort level, but that's a bold-bodied, maternally focused, high-quality heifer there. I thought she won this class pretty easy, and then it was really more of a decision between second and third. And I think both of these heifers have some give and take. I wouldn't mind, or I wouldn't argue with you if you wanted to switch the pair, but I'm going to stay consistent with it. I do think this heifer in second is a little more stable in terms of her hind leg, especially when you get him in. I think this heifer just has a little more comfortable reach off of that hock and sets her pastern down a little softer. She's a little jammed up. I'd like to just stretch her out up front. At times, she's one that maybe doesn't pick her head up just sky high out of her shoulder. If we could elevate and stretch that out just a bit, I probably wouldn't think twice about starting with her. But I like her softness. I like just the fundamental cow look that she gives you. This heifer in third's pretty striking, and there's no doubt that there's a heifer that's a little more like our winner in terms of her presence, in terms of her look, her extension. I for sure prefer that over the heifer that's in second. And when she's standing still, she's one of my favorite heifers in this class. But when you get her in motion, you can start to see her problems, because a little up and down in terms of her shoulder, probably for me doesn't just handle that hind leg with the same kind of agility as those two heifers that are in front of her. If she was a nickel sounder, this heifer works up pretty easily in this class. I just got to see her move a little better if I'm going to get her into the first or second spots. Young lady in fourth does a great job of getting this heifer stuck. This is a sweet-fronted, up-headed, really attractive maid heifer. She's always alert and got her ears forward. You can tell you've been working with this one at home, even though you probably haven't owned her very long. Soft enough body, there's just not as much of her. You start to read her right there in her forerib, get right behind her as well, and I don't see as much real cow power in that one. And she could be a little looser how she uses that hip and hind leg as well, but a really high-quality heifer there in fourth. Stout, powerful one coming next, just gets a little rounder in the way that she's built. I'd like to hip design, but certainly a powerful, high substance kind of heifer. Round our class out with one that's certainly lean enough in her composition. I'd like to see her just have a little more balance and a little more weight per day of age to make a play in this group. Congratulations. Well, as long as it took me to sort through a couple of these classes, it's always refreshing as a judge when you get your first division back out and it starts to make a little bit more sense. And so I think all these classes have had some challenges, but that's because the quality's been really good. And, with these pluses and, different breed compositions combined with shorthorns, you're going to get a little variety out here as far as just molds and different types and kinds. But I'm pretty pleased with what's out here. And there was a good pair of heifers in our first class. The heifer that won, I just think just the fundamentals on her are really, really nice. She maybe isn't as just stretchy and freaky as some of the other ones and some cattle you may see, but that doesn't bother me much because I like where her feet set to the ground. I like the fact that her body type and her softness really match a sensible size. She looks like a little brood cow. Just a really nice one to win. She beat a really nice heifer there in second on a structural sense. We got into our second class, and here was a pair of heifers that were polarizing in terms of their type and their kind. Heifer that won, just really good at the ground, and I liked her structural makeup. We talked about how good a showman this young lady is, and every time I look at her, you've got absolutely everything out of her, and I appreciate that, and I'm going to commend some of you guys as that goes on. I think that's awesome because you deserve to be rewarded for your hard work. This is a heifer that I think, as we talked in class, is there as much of her? You'd like to see just a little more substance, like to see more just volume and dimension throughout, but she makes up for that by having a really neat look and a really nice kind of structural makeup. Then we got into our last class, and there was 3 good heifers in there, but there was one that kind of commandingly stuck out in my mind, and one that kind of tied it all together in terms of just keeping the fundamentals in check, having the right kind of fundamental base from a function sense, bringing some power, bringing some quality. I thought that heifer won that class pretty easily. And, there was a couple there in second and third that were nice as well, but I think when you get out here for this division, it becomes pretty obvious to me which one needs to win. But if you guys ringside would help me congratulate these exhibitors, let's give them a nice round of applause, and I'll select your champion reserve in this division.
Well, congratulations over here in the Hereford ring. Your pulled spring and congratulations, reserve pulled spring bull calf exhibited by Running P Cattle Company of Canyon, Texas, with RPC 143J210 Fireball 410. We'll now get started with your horn division. These are spring bull calves born April 9th through April 28th of 2024. And congratulations back over in the Shorthorn ring. Results out of your early spring heifer calf division. Champion exhibited by Mallory Inskeep of Lafayette, Indiana, with CF Max Rosa 450 Primo X ET. And reserve champion will go to Grady McGrew, Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, with CF Mona Lisa 484 24K X ET. We'll now welcome in Class 9. These are junior heifer calves. Well, congratulations over here in the Hereford ring.
Off this next division in a group of February heifers, and again, I think we've got a pretty dominating class winner in here, and one that I think sets the standard in terms of just quality. Big bodied, really maternal in her look. Just love her smoothness, and I like her feature because it has some strength to her head. Looks like a cow, but it's clean and feminine. Everything blends together right. That's just a really nice, high-quality female there. To me, the decision was between second and third, and I think both of these heifers are good. They're just a little different in terms of the mold that they're cut from. This heifer in second's a little more like our winner in terms of a presence sense. I'd change the shape of her head just a little bit. To me, it's a little bulky and maybe not as feminine as I like them, but for her extra power, her foot size, her bone work, her extra pin width, she still handles herself pretty well, and you get her stopped and put together, I think she's got a nice look. I'd just change the shape of her head, make her a little more maternal and a little more feminine in just the way she portrays herself, and that's what you get in this heifer that's in third. I like this kind of cattle typically because this heifer's moderate, she's soft-bodied, really easy keeping, and I appreciate that about her quite a bit. Looks like a lady, looks like a little brood cow walking around with a really nice kind of structural makeup too. She's a little quick. She's a little bit a little bit jammed up, a little compact. I get right behind her, and I just don't see as much true cow in this one. When you read her pin width and you read her upper rib shape, I just don't think she's quite as genuine as those two that are right in front of her, but a really nice, fundamentally good heifer there in third. A little more stretch and a little more performance in the one that comes in fourth. I have a harder time getting this heifer to put herself together. She'll just get a little low there in her pin set. When she gets in motion, she ducks her head just a little bit. I'm not saying this heifer doesn't have quality. It's just harder for me to get her to just kind of piece together. But the pieces that are there are good. She's heavy boned. She's got some dimension and power. Nice heifer there in fourth as well. We round our class out with this black heifer that I really like in terms of her stretch and her extension. Got a plenty good enough look up front. I got to change her structurally because she's out at the point of her shoulder, little coarse there in her hock joint. I just make everything smoother and the way that she transitions from nose to tail. But a high quality class, really like the one that wins. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations over in the Shorthorn Plus ring. Results out of Class 9 Junior Heifer Calves. First place went to back number 60038. That's CF Cherry 444 Primo XET, exhibited by Samantha Van Voris of Bowling Green, Ohio. Second place will go to Candace Line of Almond, Wisconsin, with line Midge Account M18. Third place in that class was exhibited by Kate Lowry. Fourth place went to Barrett Griffin, and fifth place will go to Katie Ruckman. Now the ring will bring in Class 10. These are junior heifer calves. Well, congratulations in the Hereford ring.
Good class. And, you know, to me, it's always been kind of a two-horse race here, but I'll tell that young man in third, that's a darn good heifer, and that's as good a third-place heifer as I've seen up to this point. And I know it's not a consolation for you, but that's a really, really good heifer on this side. You just got two pretty tough customers here in this class. And as they first walk in, it's pretty obvious that this heifer that wins has a pretty large wow factor to her. And she's just presented amazing. She's shown impressively well. And she's a good heifer, and she's just seamless in the way she blends. She's awesome in terms of her balance and just everything that she puts together in terms of power and look. Both of the heifers are sound. She's the heifer that I just kind of keep coming back to. And so she's just so elite in so many different ways and so just glass smooth and seamless in everything she puts together. And that's hard to do for a heifer that has that kind of dimension and that kind of volume. Nice place to start. And, you know, the longer this pair is out here, the closer I thought this pair started to get, because there's some things about this heifer in second that are typically the type of things that I'm going to tie into, because I actually like this heifer's head shape a little better than the winner. She's a moderate, sensibly sized, really nice kind of maternal cow prospect. It's just a couple comparative things. Like by herself, this is a well-balanced, this is a great made female. She's not quite as elite in terms of her pin set. She's not quite as stout when you get right in behind her. Not quite as much foot when you compare her. I think that's an awesome heifer in her own right. It's hard and it stinks when you got to get comparative on a really high-quality pair, but I like both of those heifers really, really well. And I told you how much I like this third-place heifer too. Just so fundamentally right. Awesome footed, great heeled, good foot, nice bodied. She just comes off a little plainer as compared to those three. She's not as neat up front. I wish we could tie her a little differently, right behind her shoulder, how that spine hooks up. I'd just give her a little more strength there. And as the class wore on, she got a little tired and started to lose it just a little bit. But that ain't going to keep her out of production. That's a good cow prospect. I like that heifer a lot. So don't be discouraged. That's good cattle there in third. Heifer in fourth is super stout, dead level in her top line, got a nice look. Just like to change her structurally. She's the most challenged off both ends, but a very high quality class. I like all four of those heifers really well. Congrats.
In the Shorthorn ring, first place exhibited by back number 60047. That's TSSC AGRF Game On Girls ET, exhibited by Maddie Smith of Athens, Texas. Second place will go to Carter Wickard of Wilkinson, Indiana. Third place exhibited by Stetson Reedy, and fourth place went to Helen Spears. We'll now bring those first and seconds in, select the champion reserve junior heifer calf. Well, congratulations, your champion.
Well, I apologize. It's taking a little extra time in this division, but I kind of joke with these two girls out here. If they didn't want to show either one of them, I'd gladly take them home and let my boys show them because these are two awesome heifers. And I knew it was going to be tough because I knew how they both hit me in class. And, you know, when you got them back out here for this division, I guess I just didn't realize some of the stark differences between the two. And so to me, it's kind of like, you know, chocolate and vanilla. They're both good. You just kind of depends on what you like. And but I want to, before I kind of tell you what I see, I wanted to just preface to you kids, as well as your handlers and your people on the ringside, I like both of these heifers a ton. And I'd be proud to own both of them. They're just a little different. and I got to get to comparing the two. And so the heifer that wins our first class, what I love about this heifer is just her youthful look. I mean, she looks like a female up front. I think her head is beautiful. It looks like a cow, but it's clean. And she's the right size in terms of just her framework. And as you project her on to a little different stage of maturity as she gets to be a 3-4-year-old, she's got the right amount of bone for me. She's just really beautiful in that regard. She's soft-bodied, and everything is really, really nice. So she's not quite as full in her foreribs. She's not quite as robust all the way through. But if you really read her maturity, I think it still fits her really well. So I'm not going to get real critical on her for that, because I think it comes with her feminine, her freshness. I think that's all part of it. And so if you want to find a bulkier one, there's no doubt this heifer that wins our second class, it's definitely that. And it is very, very hard to make them like this. And I always say, I hate always saying those things because it's hard to make good ones in general, but to make that much body mass, that much volume, and keep it together in terms of a seamless way she blends and transitions from nose to tail, it's just really, really hard to do. And so I commend that girl and for finding a heifer that has a tremendous amount of unique pieces to her. She's not quite as just refined up top. The base of her chest and shoulder is a little out of her, but again, it fits her too. I mean, she's a power cow, and so they're going to come with a little bit of shoulder. I'd like to change the shape of her neck and just the shape of her head just ever so slightly. But again, like I said, it's really just one of those things where it fits who she is. She hasn't lost her identity as far as what she can bring to the table as a breeding piece down the road too. So I'll be honest with you guys ringside. I don't care which one you like. I love both of these heifers. It's just kind of a personal preference in the way that they hit you. And I am going to take one last look because I'm not totally sure I fully made up my mind yet. But if you would, as I take this last evaluation, put your hands together for these kids. There's a great set of seconds on that side too. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention them. Put your hands together for them. I'll get you a champion out of this division.
Well, congratulations back over in the Shorthorn ring. Results out of that last division. Your champion exhibited by Samantha Van Voris, Bowling Green, Ohio, with CF Cherry 444 Primo XET. Reserve in that division will go to Maddie Smith of Athens, Texas, with TSSC AGRF Game On Girls ET. Now in the Shorthorn ring, we have Class 13. These are winter heifer calves. Back over to the Hereford ring. Results
We get into these kind of late fall borns to start the next division. Real nice place to start. A real good fundamentally right heifer. Young ladies that obviously worked really hard with her. She's tame as a kitten, and so that's a nice pair there. Certainly a heifer that in terms of frame and body and everything matching, I think pretty standard setting in this class, and I think easily of these three, she's got the most look and the most presence about her. I thought the pair was a little closer between second and third, a pair of heifers that are pretty opposite in what they represent. Heifer that ends up in second, I saw a little more looseness of structure, saw a little softer, easier fleshing kind. I know she's a little plain. That doesn't bother me. I just see a really nice, easy fleshing kind of brood cow, just long-lasting one there in second. And, you could switch it for this one in third. I think this heifer's got a little more punch to her, probably a little more leaner in her composition. She's stout, she's powerful, got a little neater look, if you will, but she's a little coarse for me. And I think of the three in this class, she's the one that's a little more upright in her shoulder, needs to just set down a little more comfortably. But a high-quality trio, again, and a good way to start off the division.
Class 13, winter heifer calves. First place went to Piper Cates with CF Margie, 3140 Primo XET. Second place will go to Camden Flippo, Rush Springs, Oklahoma. And third place exhibited by Addison Dick of Nowata, Oklahoma. Now in the ring, we'll bring in Class 14, senior heifer calves before the division. Well, congratulations in the Hereford.
Shorthorn Plus heifers, 4 heifers in here. I think a pretty dominating winner. Obviously got her tail head smashed in here. We'll give you a chance to get that fixed before you come back out for division. But pretty dominant winner again, just in terms of the foundations, just awesome structured, awesome brood cow look to her. Puts it together with some quality. Again, a pretty commanding and dominant winner in this group. There's a couple different directions you could go for second. I'm going to stay committed to structure in here because I think this black heifer in second is the next most right in terms of foot size and shape. I like the way she goes off both ends better than the heifers in third and fourth. She's got a little extra shoulder, maybe doesn't hook up perfectly there right in her heart, a little bit of chest too. So if we could change a couple of those things up front, I think this heifer would have we could maybe give her, or she'd have a little better chance of trying to push that yellow heifer that wins, but a real nice heifer there in second. The one that comes in third, I certainly like some things about her. She's the one that really blends smooth. She's really just moderate and very maternal in the way she puts herself together. She's pitched forward in her shoulder just a little bit. She just doesn't reach out of that front end with the same kind of correctness and comfort level as those two that are in front of her. You'll see her kind of parking her front feet out just a little wide when she kind of standing there. But at the stand, I still like her lines and I like her balance better than the heifers really on either side of her. This one that comes in has certainly got a nice shape to her center body. Feminine up front when you read her head shape. She's just challenged structurally. She's too coarse in her hock joint. She's a little over there in her knee. And so if we could just loosen this heifer, give her a little more angulation, we'd work her up as well. Congratulations on a nice class.
Well, congratulations over in the Hereford ring. Results at a Class 9.
Well, we get into another division here, and maybe not the numbers that we had in some of these other kind of springborn calf divisions, but this set of fall heifers are really good. And, you know, it probably ends up being a little closer than I thought. And I think the biggest thing in this young lady with the first calf, it kind of reminded me that that's a late December, and you got a heifer that's kind of in our fall period, and this yellow heifer in our second spot. So there's actually quite a bit of age difference between the two, and so you got to kind of keep that into account. And you know, this young December heifer, I think, has a really nice presence about her. And I talked to her in class. I think she does the basics really well. She's just a nice, sensibly sized, nice bodied, very maternal, just a nice kind of presence about her from the side. I don't know if she just wows you anywhere, but I'd challenge you to find just a major hole in this heifer. And sometimes I think we get carried away chasing kind of extremes, and we forget that this is the kind of cattle that still can work really well. Maybe not just the most extended thing in the world. She's moderate, plenty moderate enough in her kind. It doesn't bother me, but I see a really nice, bright future for that blue roan heifer in our first class. Then we get into a little different kind here in second. And obviously, this is kind of what comes with, your Shorthorn Plus show, you've got Shorthorn in one part of the pedigree, but who knows what the other breed is. And I got a pretty good idea what this probably is, and a little different kind of continental crossbreeding system here, if you will. But a heifer. And I think this heifer's a lot of neat things about her. She's probably a little stretchier than even though she is older, there's probably more natural length and extension in this heifer relative to her age. She's a one that's beautiful structured, just like the one in front of her. She's soft, and she's got a really elegant kind of look about her. Just a really nice pair of cattle. And again, I like both of them pretty well. There's a big age gap, so you got to kind of keep that into consideration. But I'm not to say that, it doesn't matter young or old. I like good ones. I think both of these heifers are very, very good. So I'm going to show you my two favorites in that particular order. But if you would, give them a nice round of applause ringside.
The Shorthorn Ring, your senior heifer calf champion, exhibited by Lissa Meyer, Clinton, Tennessee, with TCC RF Adele 3872 ET. And reserve champion will go to Piper Cates with CF Margie 3140 Primo XET. We're now going to welcome in Class 17. These are late spring yearling females. Back over in the Hereford Ring, results out of Class 10.
Well, as we get into this next class of kind of our summer-born group, as you'd expect, not the numbers, but I certainly think there's some good in each one of these heifers out here. To me, there's a pair of heifers that are a little cowier in their look, and I think when you just take that big lap around this ring, this heifer is quite a bit more comfortable in the way that she goes, particularly up front. I think this is a heifer that's got more slope to her shoulder, neck ties a little higher there, so it just kind of collectively gives her a little neater look. This heifer that's in second, I certainly think is super bold-bodied. She's powerful in terms of her midrib, a little shorter everywhere. I'd like to stretch this heifer out just a touch. And then again, like I said, when you got this pair in motion, she'll duck her pins and kind of tuck up underneath of herself just a little bit. A little short stepping in comparison to the one that's right in front of her, but high quality heifer there nonetheless. real easy keeping kind. This heifer in third is one that I like in terms of just her strength, the top line. She's certainly got enough fleshing ability as well. She needs more power, and she gets a little out of whack in terms of her proportions, a little deeper in her chest than she is in her flanks. So we'd like to rearrange that, but I certainly think those are three very nice summer-born heifers. Congrats.
Well, congratulations over here in the Hereford ring. You're immediate female division champion was exhibited by G. Brighton Beatty of West Unity, Ohio. Reserve in that class, and congratulations to Tyler Dulce of Thurman, Ohio, with GTG Augusta Pride 328L. Now in the ring, this is class 20. These are early spring yearling females. Attention to all of our exhibitors and spectators here in the Jim Norick Arena. There is a black Ford Explorer in the cowport in the staff lot with an Illinois license plate. The alarm is going off. If that's yours, if you could please head out to that lot and get it turned off. Again, that's a black Ford Explorer, Illinois license plate in the cowport in the staff lot. Well, congratulations in the Hereford ring, Class 11, pulled senior bull calves. First place exhibited by B&C Cattle Company of Miami, Texas, with B&C End Zone 3535 LET. And second place in that class will go to Adeline Sorgan of Convoy, Ohio, with Mr. Kickin' Rocks 023L. Well, now welcoming Class 12. These will be pulled senior bull calves born October 19th through October 20th of 2023. Well, congratulations back in the Hereford ring.
Well, as we get into this class of March, April is obviously one of the not just bigger classes that I've had to sort through in the Plus show, but definitely the deepest class. And I mean it from first all the way down towards the bottom of this class. I see a lot of really nice females out here that I think can bring a lot to value to the table. I thought this was always this pair up here on top. I think these heifers are both very elite in terms of quality, and they're a little different once you start to kind of get out here and break them down just a little bit. I think both of these heifers move fine, and that's probably why they sort up, because they're the two that have that kind of functional foundation, still look like females. They're soft-bodied and broody. I saw probably just a little more strength in this heifer that wins. She's a heifer that when you get right in front of the cattle, I think she has more natural chest width, a little bit more spring right there to her forerib, and because of that, I think that's why she hooks up just a little nicer right behind her shoulder. As the class wears on, she holds it together a little bit better. I think she's a little fresher in her composition as well. And so, yeah, to me, probably the thing that threw me the most on this heifer is just her color pattern, because this is just a solid deep black, and this is kind of more of your traditional kind of lighter red shorthorn marked heifer. But I see a really high quality female underneath that color pattern, if you will. I like this heifer in second a lot. And she hits the ring, and she's presented awesome. She's so good in terms of the way she's fit and clipped and even shown. And I want to commend the people that can come out and do those things. I think that's awesome. This is a heifer that's obviously incredibly easy flushing. It's a comparative thing, and I'm not saying she doesn't have enough to her. I'm not saying that she's narrow, but compared to the heifer right in front of her, I don't see this heifer opening quite as bold right there in her forerib. When you get her in motion, too, she'll kind of get a little bit of looseness there underneath, and so I don't know if she's just quite as fresh as that heifer that wins. Maybe doesn't tie her neck as high and as tidy as that heifer that beats her, but none of those are long-term problems. Again, I hate getting critical because I do think that's an awesome heifer there in second, but those are the minor differences that I see in a really high-quality pair. This heifer in third maybe isn't for everybody, but I like this kind of cattle, and that's why she's towards the top of this class. And, you know, I know that she's a little plainer featured and she's not got the bells and whistles, but I think this one's structure, this one's body shape, this one's cow power is really, really what I like, and I think more of our show cattle need to have that. She's a heifer, like I said, it's a little plainer in the way she's put together, but awesome structure, body shapes and tremendous, very genuine. I still think that heifer has tremendous utility. Here's a neat looking one at the stand that comes in fourth, a little moderate. To me, I wish she was a little caviar looking. I think as we get into the later stages of her gestation, I wish this heifer had just a little more robustness all the way through, had just a little caviar look to her, but a moderate, smooth, attractive, high quality, really well balanced heifer there in our fourth spot. I like this one in fifth as well. From her shoulder back, I think she's as good as any of them out here. Beautiful hip and hind leg structure, dead level in her top line. It's up front where I'd change this heifer. She gets those front feet out just a little wide, and just to be blunt and honest with you, a little plain-headed, a little coarser, not as maternal and feminine as I like them, but a really good kind of heifer there. Then the blue roan that comes next has got all kinds of extensions. She's one of the fresher ones in here. I like to change her structurally and soften her all the way through to move her up in this class. This heifer that comes next, good in her lines, plenty of performance to her. I'd like to give her a different hind leg and just give her a little more mobility as she goes out in motion. Round our class out with a sensibly sized, stout, fresh one that just needs a different hock joint, needs to be a little looser in the way she goes. But a high quality class, excellent pair there on top. Well, as we get into this class of January, February heifers, again, we've got a little bit of spread here, about 45 days worth of just age in this group, and so keep it in consideration. The heifer that wins, I think I always kind of thought she was going to win the second she hit the ring, and I'm not saying that she's a freak by any stretch, but I think she just kind of checks all the fundamental boxes in this group, and she's sound and flexible. She looks like a female, like just the refinement, but still having enough power to go with it. I think compared to the ones in second and third, she's quite a bit more right in terms of her top and her bottom line. The way she balances, I think, is as good as anything in here. To me, I thought when they first came in that the pair between second and third was going to be a little closer. As the cattle got in motion, I was a little more confident in this heifer in second. I like her foot and I like her heel a little better than the one in third. She's big-bodied and powerful. She's starting to show me a little bit of udder too, which I appreciate that. At times she gets a little weird and just a little awkward in the way that her shoulder's constructed, a little upright, maybe just doesn't pick her head out of her shoulder quite as neatly as the heifers on either side of her, a little rounder and lower in her pin set when she goes. And again, I'm being very critical. None of those flaws are going to take that heifer out of production. It's just the things that I'd like to change on her if I want to use her to start. The one that ends up in third at the stand is probably a little more like our winner. I really like the sharp look she has. She's super neat in terms of top line. Dead level in her spine. You get her in motion, I'd give her a different hind leg structure, and I think it starts at the ground. She's a little longer toed, not as much depth of heel as those two that are right in front of her, so she doesn't flex her hock. She'll crank that tail head up just a little bit as well. If we, from her hooks forward, I would switch that pair. From there back, that's maybe where I would change that heifer, but I like lots of things about her. This heifer that comes in our fourth spot, she's got all kinds of visual performance, and if you look at the paper, she's kind of the standard setter in here in terms of her growth figures as well. So lots of performance in her pedigree and in her phenotype. I'd like to just change this heifer's structure if we're going to move her up in this class, but a high quality set of females. Congratulations. Well, just a single entry cow-calf pair. Really nice pair, though. I certainly think it's pretty obvious that it's a kind of a sensibly sized moderate pair. I'd maybe change this cow's teat structure just a little bit, but at this point it doesn't seem to be affecting that calf too much. But I appreciate the fact that she's in production. I still think that's important. Just a really nice pair there. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations over here in the Shorthorn Plus ring. Results out of your junior female division. Champion exhibited by Samantha Van Voorest, Bowling Green, Ohio, with CF Refits Crystal Swan 39 ET. Reserve in that division exhibited by Grady McGrew of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. We then brought in our final class and division, your champion cow-calf pair, exhibited by Eliza Sherlin of Silverton, Texas. We're now going to bring in all those division champion and reserves and select a champion and reserve champion, Shorthorn Plus female, here at the Cattlemen's Congress. Back over the Hereford ring, results. in the ring. Let's put our hands together for all of our junior Shorthorn Plus exhibitors here at the Cattleman's Congress. Well, congratulations in the Hereford ring, your horned intermediate yearling bull champion exhibited by Braxton Lockhart of Caldwell, Texas with DBLL 8041 Daytona 351. And congratulations, the reserve in that division exhibited by Cami Evig with Mr. Big Red. We'll now bring in Class
Plus show. I'll try to keep my comments relatively brief because I know we've got a lot more pures to get through and I don't want to take up a lot of time, but I think this has been a very good show. And I'll be honest with you, I think that the quality's been exceptional, but I was a little bit surprised that when you get these champions back out here, how many different directions a guy could go. And I mean that sincerely. A lot of times I've judged a fair amount of shows and, you know, the ones just, maybe there's one in the middle of the day that just hits you like a ton of bricks, and I can really say that for about, honestly, 4 or 5 heifers. And so I'm not going to go through them all because I've talked enough, and I think when it gets to this stage, it just gives you as a judge that opportunity to just show the country or show the ringside exactly the ones that hit you the hardest. And so I'm going to do that, but I truly mean it. I could definitely see some divisions and some class winners getting swapped around in the open show, and I think that's fine and dandy, and I hope it happens because I think it's good for this industry, but these are the ones that I like, and I'm very, very impressed. I've been obviously in the Angus business for a long time, and I understand how hard it is to make cattle look like this, and try to get a baby calf or try to get a big bred to this hard dirt here in Oklahoma City is not an easy task. And so my hat's off to you guys. I know the work and the effort that it takes. And so with that being said, I'm not going to talk about the cattle. I'm just going to show you my favorites. But again, if you would at ringside, please do me a favor and help me congratulate these kids. Give them a nice round of applause as we select your champion, Shorthorn Plus female.
Well, congratulations over here in the Shorthorn Plus ring, your grand champion female, exhibited by Josie Beeser of Camden, Ohio, with SF Mona Lisa 382 FER XET, and reserve champion. And congratulations goes to Samantha Van Voris of Bowling Green, Ohio, with CF Cherry 444 Primo XET. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. We are now going to take a brief photo break over here in the Shorthorn ring before we get started with your Purebred Shorthorn show.
At Frontier Embryo Center, where tradition meets innovation in cattle breeding and fertility services, we're more than just a cattle service. We're your partner in elevating your herd's genetics. Our 60-day pregnant reset program and 6-month wean calf program are designed to maximize your genetic potential. With premium reset cows that are always on hand, health tested and selected for their docile and maternal traits, we handle the hard work so you can focus on growing your operation.
First class in the ring for your junior Shorthorn show will be Class 1 late spring heifer calves.
Well, a really nice way to start off the Purebred show on this side. Got 3 June, July, late summer borns. Obviously, they've got a ways to go in terms of just their development, but off to a good start. I thought there's a heifer that wins, and she's not perfect. We'd maybe tell her a little truer up front, but I still think she's the best built one in this class. And I know it's her first time to town, so she's fighting the halter just a little bit, but I think this heifer's look and her presence, and when you get her put together like this, here's a heifer that combines some natural dimension with a nice quality look there from the side. The heifer that's the next most like her for me is this dark red one that's in second. I actually think she mirrors our winner in terms of body mass, just her balance, the proportions she does bring to the table. I read this heifer being just a nickel upright off both ends. I'd knock her knee back just a little bit. She wants to get just a little forward there, but it's not a big deal. I think a heifer that still has a lot of quality. Then the heifer that rounds out our class is certainly one that's the most youthful, gives up quite a bit in terms of weight per day of age, but that's still a neat looking, attractive one that I think with time and feed and some TLC, I think could be really, really good. So 3 nice heifers and a real nice way to start off the Purebred show.
Well, congratulations in the Shorthorn ring. Starting out the show, Class 1, first place, exhibited by Brigham DeBoard of Bardwell, Texas, with GCC American Margie 47 AT. Second place, exhibited by Emma Braun of Allison, Iowa. And third place will go to Talia Ferguson Sanders. Now in the ring, we'll bring in Class 2. Well, congratulations, your pole champion yearling bull coming out of class 19.